Hello and welcome to another exciting review of Superdan Dealing in the Desert Cigar Review number 11, the Crowned Heads 4 Kicks Maduro Limited Edition 2018. Has a Connecticut Habano Maduro wrapper over Nicaraguan binder and filler. This is in a Lancero size. It has tasting notes of creamy, dark chocolate, stone fruits and dried prunes and fake bananas, leather, and an herbal note. At times that comes and goes with a great amount of pepper on the retrohale and red pepper on the mouth and a finish. It may go great with steak, bourbon, dark chocolate, Thanksgiving dinner night. Crowned Heads has done a great job through the years, and this cigar is no exception. So, therefore, without any further ado, let us smoke this limited edition 2018 cigar, Crowned Heads 4 Kicks Maduro Limited Edition. Lighter up! I've been waiting a long time to smoke this stick. And by golly, tonight, we're gonna smoke this stick. This is a 4 Kicks in Maduro. I was gonna smoke this thing on Thanksgiving. Then I was going to smoke it the next day, and the next day, and the next day. Now it's December 1st in the morning, and I'm not putting it off any longer. We are going to smoke the 4 Kicks Limited Edition 2018 in Maduro. And we're going to pair it up with the salted caramel flavored hot cocoa. Let's go to the garage to smoke this thing. Let's do it! But before I start this video, cigar review number 11, the 4 Kicks in Maduro, I've noticed that the light looks a little weird, like it's down, and like my eyes look dark, like a raccoon. That's because I don't have my additional light source that I use that clears this up, that clears up these dark, weird things going on because of the overhead light in the garage. So I will be right back, and we're gonna begin this review because I need to smoke this sucker right now. 4 Kicks Maduro, smells awesome. I'll be right back. Well, I just spent the last 20 minutes trying to find an extension cord so I could plug this thing in, which is my awesome light source for doing these videos outside where the lighting is much better. I couldn't find an extension cord to save my life, and then I just realized I'm using all the extension cords for the Christmas lights outside. So you know what? We're gonna have to make do with what we got. All right, we're gonna make do with what we got with the lighting. I apologize ahead of time. Usually Superdan likes to use better lighting than what we're using, but you know what? It is what it is, man. It is what it is. It is what it is. It's December 1st. It's about 4 in the morning. My phone says it's about 48 degrees outside. I think in the garage it's warmer. Feels like it's 58, 55, 58, something like that. It's comfortable. I'm comfortable. So we're going to roll with it. The 4 Kicks Limited Edition Maduro. Obviously it's like a Lancero size. Longsdale, maybe? The smell is unbelievable. Rich tobacco, cocoa, rich tobacco and cocoa. You could throw in a little bit of a black licorice in there if you were like daring. But really that's what I'm getting. This is, I think, the best smelling cigar that was of the 3 of the package. And I've been waiting to smoke this. I was going to smoke it on Thanksgiving, but things happen. We're busy. We all have lives, right? So let's cut this bad boy. Let's cut this bad boy. Ugh, yeah. There you go. There you go. Cold draw. Feels a little tight. Even more of that licorice. But not super tight. Just snug. Snug cold draw. I am drinking that cocoa. I'm sure that's going to influence the taste a little bit. It already smells like cocoa. But in the write-up that I'm going to read real quick to you on the pairing notes for this, it does mention dark chocolate for sure, some type of chocolate. So it was the closest thing I had to a chocolate. It also mentioned steak, bourbon, dark chocolate. So we're doing dark chocolate. Connecticut Habano Maduro wrapper, once again over Nicaraguan binder and filler. He says to take it easy on it. One long draw every 45 seconds. Technically, this is the Longsdale. There you go. So, technically, it's the Longsdale, but Lancero, whatever. You get the idea, right? Long cigar, kind of thin for a cigar. So let's not waste any more time. Without any further ado, let's light her up. Light her up. You got it. You got it. You got it. Okay, I'm getting some of that pepper that the writer was mentioning. Definitely getting that pepper. It's not as brutal as they were describing in here. So the first third of the cigar is black pepper and slight vanilla with oak, artificial banana candy or fresh berry. I'm getting the oak and the pepper, but it's not killing me. Yeah, don't get me wrong. There's definitely pepper going on here, but it's not terrible. I just did a retrohale and my eyes are not watering. I can see this is gonna have a little strength. I can feel that already. Does it die down or not? Does it continue in strength? I don't know. But I'm feeling a little bit in the veins. The smell, once again, is amazing. But the taste, I'm not really, I'm getting that deep tobacco, dark tobacco taste and the oak, but really not much of the nuances, at least not yet. I'm hoping that's going to come later. All right, so Superdan, we'll be right back. We're back. I'm not really getting the nuances yet of this cigar. I'm getting a good dark tobacco taste with cocoa, and I'm sure that's related to what I'm drinking here, which is hot cocoa. But I'm not getting the nuances. It says in the write-up that do not put it down for too long, it will go out, but try to keep it as cool as possible. One long draw every 45 seconds should do it. If you keep it cool, it has a depth of flavor and character. If you smoke it hot, it just tastes great, but it's harder to pick out the nuances. That's kind of like where I'm at right now. It tastes great, but I'm not picking up the nuances. But I just started smoking this thing, so we got to give it some time, man. Got to give it some time. So my kid was in my car. My kid's 7 years old, and she hasn't been to Disneyland yet. We plan to take her at some point, but I thought I'd play to her in the car the theme of the Disney's Electric Parade. That I remember when I was a kid. Now I read online that that electric parade isn't really happening anymore. Like it was happening, but then they shut it down, and then I was reading up on it, and then they did something called light magic, and that was a failure, and they stopped that. It's a shame. I remember when I was a kid, and we're talking way back. uh, let's put it this way: I found out that the electric parade for Disneyland was open in 1972. Superdan was 2 years old, but I was older than that when they took me. It was probably in the late 70s. It was definitely when they had e-ticket rides, right? You always wanted the e-ticket ride. That was the best rides, because I remember back when they had the tickets, and you bought individual tickets. Now it's just a pass. And I looked at Disneyland online. It said like $167 for a park pass. I don't know. I hear that Disneyland's not cheap anymore. Pretty expensive to go, but whatever. I haven't been to Disneyland forever. The last time I was there was with this girl I was dating, and I just remember standing in line all day long. We went on a Saturday, and I mean, it was ridiculous. Hours to go on rides. It was just like we stood in line to go on 4 or 5 rides, and that was it. It was time to go home. My feet were killing me. It was not a good experience. And I guess it wasn't a good experience because I haven't been back. This was probably back in 2004, 2005, so it's been a lot of years. Anyways, we're going to keep working on this 4 Kicks Maduro. See if I can pick up any of the nuances, because I'm not picking them up yet. But we'll keep trying. I'll be back. Alright, well, Superdan just picked up the first nuance. Fresh berry. I just picked up a berry, B-E-R-R-Y, kind of taste to this, which was really pleasant and unexpected. Do I dare say jelly? I could say jelly. Getting that a lot of oak and a lot of dark tobacco taste. Some leather, black pepper for sure. But now it's introducing to me this kind of berry candy taste. It's very interesting. I'm glad it's doing flavor transitions, because I was worried that this was gonna taste like just a dark tobacco Maduro cigar all the way through. I'm glad to see that that's not the case. So good stuff, good stuff. We're gonna keep going with this. Gonna keep going. Be right back. We're back. This is the ash. It's holding up fairly well. It's about to fall right now, but we're about, I'd say, an inch in, maybe a little bit more than an inch. Yeah, that ash is about to fall for sure. Oh, just fell. Kind of mellowed out. It was kind of strong there for a little while. Superdan was feeling it, man. He was feeling the nicotine flowing through the veins. But now I don't feel that. Now it's just kind of mellowed out. Which is good, because Superdan don't need to get sick. Doesn't need to get all funny in the head. Ex-President George Bush died today. I assume it wasn't a shock. I heard he's been sick for a long time now. I still remember when he ran with Ross Perot. And my memories of George Bush Sr. is very vague, but I do remember his "Read My Lips, No New Taxes," and I remember Carville's funny skits on SNL on George Bush, and I remember his 1,000 Points of Light speech. I don't remember too much of George Bush, but he seemed like a nice dude. I don't know. I didn't know him, but may he rest in peace. He was probably, you could argue, was on the kind of the left wing of the Republican Party in a lot of ways, kind of the progressive wing, if you will. Kind of country club, Quayle as his running mate was. Quayle is definitely, country club, I would think, but Bush, anyway. History is going down as kind of looking favorably upon George Bush. I don't know. Was getting rid of Saddam Hussein worth it? Now that there's total chaos in the Middle East and we have this perpetual war going on. Believe it or not, we're still at war over there. Did you know that? Yeah, we still got troops over there. All these years later. The perpetual war. Dick Cheney's perpetual war. But anyway, that's George Bush Jr. But I don't know, I get them all mixed up. I don't know. At any rate, before I show any more of my ignorance towards the Bush politics, we're still working on his 4 kicks. I'm still trying to pick up the nuances. Once in a while, I get it. Once in a while, I get the fresh berry, vanilla, banana peels. But mostly, dark tobacco, cocoa. We'll be back. All right, well, smoke output is very good on this cigar. It's pouring out smoke. The draw is actually very nice. I was concerned it was going to be too tight. It's not too tight at all. It's just right. Construction, very solid. Very solid construction on this cigar here. So you may ask yourself, Superdan, what's the future of you with these cigar reviews? Where are you going with this? The answer is, I know about as much as you do. Maybe a little bit more, but not much more. We're going to keep doing some reviews. We just got 3 new cigars from Bravada Cigar Club. We're going to review 1, 2, maybe even all 3 of them before the year's out. I don't know. Obviously, making time to do these is a little difficult for Superdan, but he's trying. He's trying. I don't need this cap. Let me take that off. Yeah. So that's that. I'm getting a shipment of Tabacco Especials. If you're not familiar with those cigars, they're from Drew Estates. They're another coffee infused type cigar. We're going to review those. These cigars are what I've had them before, are probably the closest runner-ups to the Drew Estates Isla Del Sols, which if you look at past reviews, I like a lot. They're I could say they're my go-to cigars, the Isla Del Sols. But it's been a while, and I want to smoke them out and see what's what. So I got one that's of the Connecticut kind of lighter wrappers, and then I got one that's the Negro, or the Maduro darker wrappers, and we're going to review those 2 things. And I'm looking forward to that because I know I like these cigars. Can't go wrong with a good cigar with quality tobacco and coffee infusion. Come on. Can't go wrong with that. But, like I said in earlier videos, no cigar is kind of made alike, and no infused cigar is made alike. I've had some horrible infused cigars which richly deserved the poo-pooing and condemnation that they get from elite cigar smokers who will not smoke any type of flavored cigars or infused cigars, God forbid. Hoity-toity folk. But Superdan's not like that. Superdan will smoke anything, you know, and then make a decision. Try to get the biasness out of my mind, because that's the way Superdan rolls. So I'm going to smoke a little bit more down this dark pole, and we'll get some more thoughts on the 4Kicks limited edition 2018 Maduro. I'll be right back. Superman Superdan is back. I'm about to do a big retro hail on this 4Kicks Maduro. I've been smoking it now, I don't know, maybe 30-40 minutes. Not even to the halfway point yet. Kind of close, but still not even halfway. It's going to be a long smoke, actually. But I'm going to do a big retro hail. I changed the drink. I'm not drinking that cocoa anymore because I feel like it might have been affecting the taste of the cigar because the cocoa was so strong. So I changed it up to a brandy. Feeling that it's going to help me taste some things with the cigar, because before I was just tasting a lot of cocoa with nuances here and there, but we got rid of the cocoa. Let's do a retro hail. Oak and black pepper.
Nailed it.
That's what I'm getting. Oak and black pepper. A little bit of vanilla aftertaste. Still tasting it, so it has a long finish. I'm still tasting stuff. Not bad, not bad. It's still there in strength for Superdan. I'm feeling it. Feeling the nicotine buzz start to develop. The tightness in the chest. You know, but I can handle it right now, so we're gonna keep rolling with it. What else has Superdan been up to? I've been working on a plastic model I've been working on, but I've been really slow about it. I've been working on a car plastic model called the 1980 Jeep Hondo. Maybe you've heard of it. Maybe you owned it. Past. But anyways, it's a 1980 Jeep Hondo. I think it's by Revell. And it also has a little snowmobile with it too, so it's kind of paired. And I'm creating it, making it, and gonna put a snow diorama to it. Not anything elaborate, just a very simple snow diorama. I'm gonna do a white little piece of cardboard, just big enough that I could fit it in that little shoebox that you see in some of my videos where all the cars are, and put some little trees on it and little bushes and snow, and that's about it. So I've been working on that, but I've been slow about it. I'll admit it. I'll admit, been slow about it. You got to excuse me a little bit. I am tired. I just got off a very long shift of a long week of a long 3 weeks at work. We've been busy. Busy is good. If you don't know already, I'm a poker dealer on the Vegas Strip. I deal the polka. Yes, I do. And we've been busy, so there you have it. So I'm gonna keep smoking. We're gonna get down this pipe a little more, and we'll have further thoughts on this long smoking Lancero Maduro dark cigar. So a lot of people in general have a rule that you don't talk about politics, you don't talk about religion at the dinner table, quote unquote. Yeah. Why? Because people get really funny when they start talking about that kind of stuff, because they take it personally. They take things personally, and if you don't take things personally, you could really have some very interesting discussions about this stuff. Um, you could talk to some people about this stuff and they're fine. They could talk about whatever and they don't get upset. They don't have knee jerk reactions. They don't go, oh, well, he's a, XYZ and he's a ZXY and blah, 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 blah. And, I hate X person. I love Y person. But he's a, whatever. Whatever. It's kind of funny because, people say, well, I don't listen to what the media tells me. I make up my own mind. And then, like, they'll start rattling you off everything that they heard from the media. But this is Super Dan's channel. This is Super Dan's cigar smoking channel. I could talk about whatever I want to talk about at any time I want to talk about it. Right now, I want to talk about it a little bit, okay? Now, remember, I consider myself somewhat of a centrist. I don't think of myself left. I don't think myself right. Sometimes I feel I'm very right. Sometimes I feel I'm very left. I don't know. I call it as I see it, and I think that's a good way to go. Call it as you see it. What else can you do, right? I mean, in the past, we didn't even vote for senators. Did you know that? Yeah, back in the day, we didn't even vote for senators. Our representatives voted for the senators, so we didn't even have a say in the Senate. I mean, back in the day, if you were not a white male who owned land, you didn't vote at all. Now everybody who has a heartbeat can vote now. Okay, whether you understand anything or not. If you could be an invalid and you could still vote. All right, so that's the system we have right now. We have mob rule voting. We have popularity contests now, right? But at least we're still a representative democracy. If we were a pure democracy, we would really be in a lot of trouble. So at least we have representative democracy, okay? Because really, Karl Marx, feel as you want about the guy, he was right about something. He said the masses are ASSESs. And he was right, I mean, when you get the masses, they don't really think, really. The population is increasing. Okay, that's a fact. And people are becoming less and less skilled. And there's more people who are getting older, more people that are unable to work for whatever reason. I think like there's this huge, I can't remember the exact percentage, so I don't want to say it, but you'll be shocked how many people do not work in the United States. It is staggering, okay? The workforce is becoming less and less, but people still need to be taken care of, right? And they're still going to demand things. I think that the allure of free education, free, quote unquote, education, free, quote unquote, health care, cradle to grave government that takes care of you from when you're born to when you die. I see that in the future. I see the Orwellian state. If you're a half-empty kind of guy, the grip is tightening. You can already kind of see it in social media and stuff. You don't really have a freedom of speech anymore, per se. No, the U.S. government does not come down and arrest you and throw you in prison for things that you say. Not yet. But there's stigmas involved that are so strong. You could lose your job, you could lose your family, you can lose your almost everything anyways, just simply by what you post or what you say. There is no protection right now for people that may post something controversial. Roseanne Barr is a perfect example. Now, me, Super Dan, personally, look, we all have said things offensive, right, in our lifetimes. Okay, let's just be honest. That's just who we are. We're human beings. We're not perfect. But I mean, she lost her show. She lost her status. Everything just because of a stupid Twitter comments. That's where we're at. Communist trials that were back in the 50s of McCarthyism. It's still alive and well. It's just a different form today than it was back then. Back then it was communist subversives, that were people that, exposed some type of left-wing communist ideas were blacklisted in Hollywood. Now it's the reverse. Now it's people that are kind of very, I don't want to say patriotic. I think that's a little bit naive, but people that espouse opinions that are outside of the mainstream, any of those opinions are kind of squashed. They're silenced. They're kicked out. It's kind of flipped on its head, so to speak, from the 50s. And but it's still the same thing, just a different color uniform. But the difference is today we have instantaneous communication, media, internet, social media, immediacy. That wasn't back in those days. We're not a melting pot. We're a salad bowl society. But the half-empty guy would say, well, that's going to cause wars in the future. It's kind of causing wars right now, I would say. Not fighting in the streets and shooting, thank God. But I could see this. I could see this thing boiling. I could see this thing with not a good outcome. My cigar went out because I was talking too much. It's going to be interesting. Now, the half-full guy is saying, well, all these things is going to be for the better. We're going to become more of a globalist society. Everybody's going to see everybody as the same, as human beings. Nobody's going to be greater than the other person. We're going to be all of a socioeconomic class, all of a similar mindset. All the divisions of nationality, of religion, and stuff is going to be gone. Sort of like the Imagine song by John Lennon. Imagine there's no heaven, imagine there's no religion. That kind of thing. Sort of like I'm watching a lot of Star Trek, and Star Trek has that Federation of Planets as Captain Picard of the USS Enterprise promotes. That sort of thing. Everybody's just one big group, and I could see that side of it as well. It'll be interesting. I'll be right back. I gotta relight this cigar. I'm back. As I'm pontificating on this stuff, you may ask yourself, you may be saying to yourself, well, I agree on certain things, I don't agree on other things. That's not what it's about. There's no agreeing or disagreeing. This is just Superdan thinking about the future and possible futures. So whether you agree or disagree, that's not the point. You're just listening to me rant not even a rant, you're just listening to me chatter as we're smoking down this 4 Kicks Maduro. My thoughts so far, I'm at the middle now. My thoughts so far on this cigar is I'm not really picking up a lot of the nuances, which is kind of a little disappointing. I was hoping I was going to get a lot of fruit flavors. I was going to get some of that vanilla they were talking about, that berry, and I got it just a little bit, but not a lot. Over 90% of it has been dark tobacco, cocoa, and some oak, and that's really been the predominant tastes thus far. thus far. I think you'll notice if you look at the United States history, from the inception of the United States to now, you'll see that the changes made has been made as a population has increased, and how the role of the federal government has gotten bigger and bigger and bigger as time goes on, right? From 1776 to now, government's gotten bigger and bigger, bigger, and it's still getting bigger. It's nothing like it used to be back in the day. One thing we haven't talked about is robotics and androids and technology, which I think is going to have, it's already having a huge effect, but I think it's going to have an even bigger effect in the future as robots, and artificial intelligence, I think, is going to really start taking over the workforce. And no, Superdan isn't smoking pot, he's smoking a cigar. But he's also kind of tired and is kind of rambling. I apologize for that. I'm going to smoke a little further on the 4 kicks, and then I'll give you some final thoughts. I'll give you some numbers, and we'll call it a day. I don't want to just keep rambling. I'll be right back. I'm back. How you doing? God bless you. All right. And for those who don't believe in God, just bless you. I am going to stop here because I am tired. I caught myself falling asleep. So I'm just going to have to end it. We've been smoking over an hour. I would at least like to smoke this to the band, but I'm too tired, and I just want to go to bed. That's all I'm thinking about. So we're going to end it here. Okay, construction has been rock solid. Great construction. Smoke output has been wonderful. Burn line's been okay. Not perfect, but it's been pretty solid. The draw has been not tight, not loose, just right, which Superdan likes. It did go out once, but that's because I was rambling. That's expected. I relit it, no problem. So construction gets 4.3 stars. Price. Sorry. I don't know what the price is on this. Let me see if I can find a price on this. I'll be right back. Of course, keep in mind that prices are always approximate. It's always going to vary according to where you are and the taxes and the fees and all that stuff. But I found this to be around $11. So it's up there in price. I think this could be an $8 or $9 cigar. I think it's a little on the pricey side. I think the price is a little much, in my opinion. So I'm going to give it like a 3.7 stars for the price. $11 seems a little high to me. The taste. Taste has been all right, but I'm only been getting that flat oak, dark tobacco, black pepper taste throughout, with a little like 1 or 2%. I got a little bit of berry one time or 2 times, a little bit of vanilla a couple times, and that's about it. So the taste has been a little bit disappointing for Superdan, but just a little bit. It's definitely a Maduro taste of dark tobacco, like I said. So taste, we're gonna give the taste a 3.8 stars. So overall, we're going to give this cigar an overall score of 3.89 stars. Not terrible, not great. You know, take that as you will. You know, if you get a chance, try it yourself. See if you like it. See if this is what works for you. I probably won't go back to this, but I definitely will not reject it if I'm given another opportunity to smoke one of these. But I'm not going to actively search for it or buy a box or anything like that. And before I do another long-winded pontification, I better stop. So, hey, thanks for getting through this with Superdan. I appreciate it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to Superdan Dealing in the Desert. Show support out there. Click the thumbs up. Comment down below. I like your comments. You can support the channel via the email that I put down here, via PayPal, and that goes a long ways towards paying for the cigars, paying for the plastic models, and the internet and the devices I use to do these videos, blah 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 blah, etc. etc. And hey, you guys have a great day, lovely day. Happy holidays to all of you. And notice I say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, whatever the heck you celebrate. The important thing is be good to those around you. Be good to people until they deserve for you not to be good. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. You know, it's a golden rule. It's all about the golden rule. Treat others as you would have yourself be treated. Cheers. Fair winds and following seas. And I will catch you on the next cigar review. No immediate plans to do another cigar giveaway, but it's going to come up soon. Definitely at the end of the year when we do our cigar of the year. I'm planning to do at least a cigar giveaway at that point, and it's coming up, right? It's December 1st, so it's coming up. I'll give you more details as I figure out how I want to do it. I want to do it differently than the last time I did it. That's it. Bye-bye.